Hello, dear students of class 10. Your exams or the term 1 exam is very near. So, I am with a new video for you. It's just a recapitulation of life processes. There are many parts and subparts of this chapter. So, let me discuss about every processes in detail so that before going to examination or before just preparing for the chapter, you may just have a glance of this video. So what is life process? Let me first discuss about the definition. So any biological process that helps an organism to survive is known as life process. So a type of biological process or many types of biological process together work in a well coordinated manner to help the organism to survive. Now there are various type of life processes like nutrition. Here we will read about nutrition in this chapter. Then comes respiration. Then it is control and coordination, the third type of life process. Now this control and coordination part is deleted from this year's syllabus. So you won't be learning this chapter, though it is a vital life process. Next come reproduction. Here in this syllabus you will read reproduction chapter for term 2. Then come conduction or like circulation, okay, circulation process, and finally excretion. So here you will learn about nutrition in plants, animals, respiration in aerobic, anaerobic, like eukaryote, prokaryote. So here see, and control and coordination is deleted. Nutrition, respiration, reproduction is for term 2, and circulation and excretion. So these highlighted parts are in this chapter in the life process. Nutrition. So today we will learn about nutrition, right? So let me discuss about nutrition first. So what do you mean by nutrition? First let me tell. Now nutrition can be divided into autotrophic and heterotropic. So I'm writing here auto and hetero. Means autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now autotrophs are those that can produce their own food, like green plants, all green plants, cyanobacteria, they're autotrophs. Okay, heterotrophs are all other organisms other than green plants, right? Now let me discuss about the autotrophic mode of nutrition, which you will learn about photosynthesis here in this part. So what is the autotrophic mode of nutrition? So autotrophic mode of nutrition is seen in green plants. Now the green plants require some raw materials for performing this process. So what are the raw materials and how is this process taking place, that we will learn in this chapter. We will also study about some of the activities related to this autotrophic mode of nutrition. So all green plants that I have just discussed, all green plants show autotrophic mode of nutrition. Can you tell me why do all green plants have the capability of producing their own food? Because they have chlorophyll. It is a photosynthetic pigment. It can trap sunlight. So chlorophyll is a miracle substance present in all green plants that help in photosynthesis. Now before going into details about photosynthesis, let me discuss about metabolism. Metabolism means all chemical reactions taking place in a cell or in a living organism. So metabolism can be classified as catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism means all the breakdown processes taking place in the body or in the cell, like respiration. In respiration, what happens? Glucose is oxidized to produce energy. While in anabolism, photosynthesis is anabolism where glucose is being produced. So when something is being produced, it is anabolism. Okay, and catabolism means when something has been broken or something, some energy form is produced here in this catabolism respiration. So here in photosynthesis process, so what we are learning this photosynthesis process, how it is taking place in green plants. So there are some steps. So these steps we will study, and always will study about the activities related to photosynthesis. So the next video I will discuss about the activities. Today I will discuss about the photosynthesis. So what are the probable questions that may come as MCQ or case-based study in for your exam? Like, you have to learn all the totally thoroughly, you have to learn, go through these textbook. So photosynthesis, you have to learn the raw material, that is carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So what is the reaction? 6 molecule of carbon dioxide reacts with 12 molecule of water, okay, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So what is produced? One molecule of glucose. So what is the formula for glucose? C6H12O6. So glucose is a simplest carbohydrate which is formed by carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, so 6 carbon, 12 C6H12. So hydrogen 12 and oxygen 6, C6H12O6. Okay, along with that, what is produced as a byproduct? That is the oxygen and water vapor. So water is being released as the vapor form and oxygen is also released. So these water vapor and oxygen are released from the stomata, the stomatal pore, and glucose is the product. So product here is glucose, and end products, or the like the end product means other than the product, the productions are water molecule and the oxygen. So now we'll study about the steps of photosynthesis. Now what is the first step? Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Now what is chlorophyll? It is a photosynthetic pigment. It is a type of pigment that helps in photosynthesis. So it is called photosynthetic pigment. So what is the role of this pigment? It can trap sunlight. Okay, it can trap sunlight. Now why is this sunlight necessary? It is necessary for splitting the water molecule. So what are the step? First step is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. So first the sunlight falling on the leaves will be trapped by the chlorophyll, and then the conversion of light energy into chemical energy will take place. Okay, so these are the first two steps: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll and conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Now there are three major steps given in your book. So you see here, so why is this required? The light energy is required for splitting the water molecule. So the first point you have to remember that light energy is essential for splitting the water molecule, and this splitting of water molecule which is done by light energy is very important. Okay, now light is therefore trapped by the chlorophyll. So what is water molecule splits into? It's split into hydrogen and oxygen, which is given in your book. You can go through the textbook. And third process, or the third step that is important for this photosynthesis reaction, is reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. So reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate is the third step. So remember step by step. First is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Second is splitting of water molecule, that is light energy being converted into chemical energy. And lastly, reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. But remember one thing, it is not that all these three steps will complete first and then again the first step will start. It is not like that. It is going on simultaneously in different cells, in the mesophyll cells of the leaf. Okay. So here comes the role of stomata. Stomata, you know, is a very, very important part of the leaf or of the plant. Okay. And here you will also learn about the role of chlorophyll and role of the root hair and xylem. So first of all, you see, we'll learn about the role of stomata. Okay. So stomata helps in the exchange of gases. Okay. What are the gases exchanged by stomata? Carbon dioxide and oxygen. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are the two main gases that are exchanged by stomata. And you see what are stomata means. Stomata is the plural form, remember, and stoma is the singular. Okay, so this stomata or the stoma, I am rather drawing one stoma here. So stoma has two guard cells. So these are the guard cells which are mainly present in the stoma. And you can see the stomatal pore. Okay, and thereafter you can see some cells which are lining outside the guard cell known as subsidiary cells. So stomatal pore is created because of the What? Because of this guard cell. When the guard cells go apart from each other, stomatal pore is created. Why? Because the guard cells become very turgid. And due to the turgidity, they go apart, move apart from each other. You can note one nucleus here, you can point one nucleus, and other than that, you can find some chlorophyll. So these are the structure. Okay, so you may also get questions like you can get some figure of stomata, might be the subsidiary cell is missing, or the stomatal pore may be, it may be closed. So stomata may be open or closed, so depending on the availability of water. So when you are noting down the figure, so go through the figure thoroughly from the textbook, so that any type of question related to diagram may come in your exam. So you can go through the diagram very thoroughly, minutely. Suppose nucleus is not mentioned there, or guard cell is not properly drawn, so that is a very important point to remember. Subsidiary cell also do play some role in this figure, okay, or in this structure. So remember all these point or key points, and then you detect the correct option for the diagram for stomata. Okay, now you see this is the structure of a stoma of a dicot leaf. Okay, dicot leaf. Dicot leaf means the plants having dicot seed. Dicot means when a plant having the seeds have two cotyledons. They are called dicot. Okay, like mango, jamun, all are dicot. Clear? While monocot means those plants that have a single seed. The seed cannot be broken into two equal halves. Like for example, cashew nut, okay, cashew nut, mango. These are dicot, where the seeds are gram. That seeds can be easily broken into two equal halves. While in monocot, the seeds are only one, the only single. Like rice, okay, paddy. Rice is the grain, paddy is the total plant or the grain, like along with the seed code, it is a paddy or rice grain. So rice, wheat, maize, these are monocot. Clear? So when you are identifying the guard cells in a dicot plant like this stoma is a dicot stoma which is having kidney bean shaped guard cell. So the guard cell here in a dicot plant is kidney bean shaped. But when you are noting down that in monocot the guard cells will not be kidney bean shaped, it will be dumbbell shaped. I hope many of you know what is a dumbbell. Okay, dumbbell is that thing that is used for doing exercise. I hope you know about what is a dumbbell, right? So this is the section of a structure of a stoma. Singular is stoma and plural is stomata. So this is a singular, this is a single stoma. So there are numerous stoma or stomata rather, okay, in the dorsoventral surface of the leaf. Dorsal surface means the lower part of the leaf. Okay. On the terrestrial plants, lower part of the leaf possesses more stomata than that of the upper part. Can you tell me why? To avoid transpiration. Okay. Transpiration is the process of loss of water during photosynthesis. So as we have noted down the reaction already about the reaction of photosynthesis where water molecule has been released in the form of vapor. So that is transpiration, right? Now next we will study about the dicot leaf. So dicot leaves have what type of veins? Dicot leaves have like dicot leaves have stoma like this. I have told you the guard cells are kidney bean shaped. Okay, kidney bean shaped guard cells are present in a dicot plant. Okay, so it is not being perfect. And monocot is like this. Monocot is a dumbbell shaped. Dumbbell shaped. You can see here in the figure. Now you see here dicot leaves have reticulate vein. I have drawn the leaves of a dicot leaf, and a monocot leaf have parallel veins. Okay, parallel veins. You can identify the plants by seeing their leaves. And root system also is very different. In dicot, the root system is taproot system. You see there will be a main root and there will be numerous lateral roots along with tertiary root. Okay, so this is a taproot system in a dicot plant. But while in a monocot, the root system will be fibrous type. Fibrous means the roots will be arising from the base of the stem, and there will be not a single main root. Main root will be not there. All the roots will be very similar. Okay, so these things have been already read by you in lower classes. Though I am just recapitulating all these things that you might have forgotten. Okay, though it is not been discussed in your chapter, but you need to know all these things. So what is the next topic to be learned? Let me discuss the next topic. So well, you remember the structure of stoma. Okay, it's very important. And then we will study about the phases of photosynthesis. So the photosynthesis is divided into two main phases. What are they? The first phase of the photosynthesis is the light phase, and the second phase of photosynthesis is known as the dark phase. So light phase and dark phase, these are the two phases of photosynthesis. So light phase is a light dependent phase. Okay, light dependent phase. So this phase is directly dependent on sunlight. Okay, and the light independent phase is the dark phase. Dark phase is light independent. That does not mean it takes place in the night time. It also takes place in the daytime, but it is not dependent on light directly. Okay, so in the light phase, the splitting of water molecule takes place in the light phase, because you know that for splitting of water molecule, the energy from the sun is required, that is trapped by the chlorophyll. Okay, and the reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate take place in the dark phase. So in higher classes, in class 11, you will study in detail about all these things and electron transport chain, but need not to explain all these things now here. So light phase is light dependent phase and dark phase is light independent phase. So splitting of water molecule take place in the light phase. Clear? So you can also say that light phase is a photochemical phase. Okay, photochemical phase is light phase. While in the dark phase is a chemical phase, where biochemical phase, where different type of enzymatic pathways are required, enzymes are required in this phase. So remember these 3 points or whatever I discussed about the phases of photosynthesis. So next we will learn about the splitting of water molecule. So water molecule is split into 4 hydrogen or 4 proton, oxygen and electron, 4 electron. So this is the splitting of water molecule. Okay, so this is done in the light phase. So what are the factors that regulate the photosynthesis rate? There are various factors like the intensity of sunlight, which is very important. So the factors that affect the photosynthesis are the following: the intensity of sunlight, availability of water, and carbon dioxide concentration. So intensity of sunlight means if there is intense sunlight, is very hot, and sunlight is too bright and very harsh, like in the summer, you see the stomata will close during the noon time. Okay, too much of sunlight will increase the transpiration rate and the plant will wilt. Water availability is very important. That's why in rainforest you see the biomass is very high. That means the production of glucose by the plant is very high because the availability of water is very abundant. And carbon dioxide concentration is also a key factor. If the carbon dioxide concentration is very high, it becomes toxic for the plant. So carbon dioxide can also become a poison for the plant if the intensity of carbon dioxide or concentration in the air rises very high. So students, I hope this much topic for today is enough for you. I want to give you the topics in a very in a very small part. So too much of things will be just loaded up in your brain. You cannot recapitulate or remember. So today I'm giving you 3 questions. Whatever I have taught here today, I want to just give you 3 questions, out of which the first is name the organelle which acts as a site of photosynthesis. I hope you can tell me the name, and I'm giving you a few seconds to think about the answer. Second is during which phase carbon dioxide breaks into carbohydrate, or in which phase of photosynthesis carbohydrate reduced to carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate. Okay, and the third question, which is the final question. Now see, remember one thing. If the answer for the first question you have already got, if you have got plastid, then I will say the answer is wrong. Why plastid is wrong answer? Because plastid can be, what type of plastids are there? Leucoplast, chloroplast, chromoplast. So photosynthesis is related to chloroplast, not leucoplast or chromoplast, because leucoplast help in storage and chromoplast it helps in coloring, okay, coloration of fruit and flower. But chloroplast, which is very important, that has chlorophyll. So answer will be chloroplast, okay, or chloroplastid. And second one, I hope you know the answer, that is the dark phase. In the dark phase, carbon dioxide changes into carbohydrate or get reduced into carbohydrate. And third is, name the two inorganic substances that acts as the raw material of photosynthesis. I told you already, it is carbon dioxide and water. So these are the three questions. So hope you understood the topic, okay, and you will learn from the textbook, and you can go through the topic very minutely, the minute details of all the line by line things you have to learn. Understood? So in the next video I will discuss about the various type of activities related to photosynthesis and what type of questions may be there. This is very important. So in the next video, soon I will provide you the next video for the activities. So thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned with me. Take care, study well, work hard.